आज हम साउथ एशिया की एक बहुत बड़ी ट्रेजेडी को याद कर रहे हैं। 16 दिसंबर 1971 जब बंगालियों ने अपना देश अलग किया, बांग्लादेश के नाम से पाकिस्तान से अलग हुए, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान की आर्मी ने जुल्म सितम के पहाड़ ढहा दिए और दुनिया की हिस्ट्री पर जुल्म बर्बरियत का एक खौफनाक बाब लिखा गया। अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा के मदर टंग डे से लेकर जुल्म जबर की जो दास्तान रकम हुई पाकिस्तान की आर्मी की, अपने ही हम मज़हब और अपने ही उस वक्त के हम वतन बहन भाइयों के साथ जो जुल्म हुआ, वो तारीख़ का एक स्याह बाब है। और मेरे साथ इस वक्त दो बंगाली इंग्लैंड से जुड़े हुए हैं। एक स्काइप पर वेल नोन ऑथर हैं प्रिया जी देव सरकार जी, और उनके साथ साथ हैं इमरान चौधरी साहब जो बांग्लादेश से हैं। ही इज़ लिविंग इन इंग्लैंड फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम। ही हैपन टू सर्व Bangladesh Armed Forces. Welcome both of you. I'll start with you, Imran Sahab. You were 11-year-old when you saw all those atrocities, not just atrocities. You happened to went through everything. Your brother sacrificed his life. So what was the eyewitness counter of those horrible days?
Thank you. Thanks for having me in your show. It is a pleasure and an honor to speak to you all the way from London. And thanks for taking the interview on a subject which is very close to my heart. I mean, whatever you see in me today is basically a produce of 1971. Basically, I was 10 years old when the war unfolded on the 25th of March 1971. At the time, we were living about 100 kilometers away from Dhaka, the capital city, a small town known as Brahmin Baria. Means it was the place, perhaps, where the home for all the Brahmins. So I was a student of class 6 at the time, and the Liberation War unfolded. My father was posted with the East Pakistan Rifles, which was the Border Security Force equivalent of BSF, Border Security Force of India, in Sylhet, which is the north-eastern district of the then East Pakistan, bordering Assam, Meghalaya, and Tripura. And my father actually was the first officer to revolt in Sylhet Division on the 27th of March 1971 at 9:15. He ambushed a convoy of Pakistan Army, which was commanded by Captain Ghulam Rasool. And in that ambush, Captain Ghulam Rasool and 21 of them were captured live, and they were arrested. And they were at a later stage, about 2 months later, they were handed over to the Indian authorities. Now, from then, we got completely displaced. We had no communication with my father, and then the Brahmanbaria remained a safe city till the 17th of April, from 25th of March till the 17th of April. On the 17th of April, at about 4:30 in the afternoon, 3 Sabaths planes came and pounded the city for more than 45 minutes. And that was the biggest surprise of my life. I have never heard so much of noise, which is the planes were literally flying not more than 500 years on top of my head. So we went into a shelter, we made some bunkers, but it was full of water because, the monsoon kicked in April in Bangladesh. So every trenches, every ditches that you can see, these were all full of waters. So we came out of the trench and went and dipped into the pond, and we stayed in a pond for 40 minutes. And it was near-death experience. gas installation. That was the first natural gas found in Beed East Pakistan, which was literally 2.5 miles away from my grandfather's house. So about say 5:15, the planes left, and then there was a huge rumor in the town that the Pakistan army is actually attacking the town, enveloping it from two sides, south and the north. And I was in my wet clothes from the pond, and my mom just told us, grab whatever you can and let's get out of this place. And we just moved. We just left the house. Whatever we had, everything living in the house, we just left. And bear in mind that house is a 3-generation-old house of my family. So literally we left everything and we started running and running and running and running. Trust me, I don't know how long I ran for. It was like thousands of people, the biggest exodus I have ever seen in my life. I had 2 younger brothers. My younger brother was, one was 8, I was 10, and the other one was 6. And I was holding one of my brother in my hand. My elder brother was helping my mom and my sister. We don't know how long we ran for. I think it was dusk, around 7:30. We stopped in a village. The name of the village is called Pakachong. I still remember the name. Anyway, within the first night we stayed, we found a place to stay in a house, quite an affluent house, and there were like 60-70 people already inside that house before we did. So we ended up staying in the cow shed for the first night, from the pristine, neat and clean bed sheets to a cow dung ridden, sleeping on the what do you call the straws, and that was the first night. And then we went from one village to the other, to the other, to the other, and no villages were ready to accept us because we didn't fit in, we didn't gel in with them. We were speaking in a different accent. My mother was a teacher, she was a graduate in 1956, and she was telling us words in English, so people started to think either we are Biharis or we are Punjabis, and they became quite antagonized that we are not going to shelter you because we don't think you are Bengalis. So you're like you are a stranger in your own country. So my brother was a 17-year-old. We stayed from one village to the other, to the other. It passed like from the 17th of April till the 30th of April. We went from one village to the other. Everywhere we went, we sought shelter. Meanwhile, whatever gold and whatever money my mother had, we almost sold everything just to get some cash to buy some food and stay somewhere. So then my brother came out with the idea that let's go to India because he heard India is giving us shelter.
Here I will interrupt you, Imran sir. We'll resume this story. I want to take some comments from Priyajit as well. So we'll go from there. What you just said, that you went to a stage when you and your family decided to go to India. So Priyajit, as Bengali, now living in England, what were actually your observations at the time? You must be a child at the time, or how would you like to conduct this debate according to your experience and observations regarding this terrible, terrible tragedy?
Thank you very much, Gurasab, for giving me the opportunity. As you said, I have written a book on East Pakistan. So it's called The Last Raja of West Pakistan. So that analyzes the geopolitical and the dynamics of the region. Now, whenever I say this, I always like to point out that why did it come to the point in March 1971 that the 54% of the Pakistani population, so the majority of a country wanted to break away from the minority. We need to understand this fact. that what we see today in the geographical space of Pakistan, which was called West Pakistan, it only represented around 45% of its population in the year 1971. If we go back in history a bit, if you remember, when Pakistan was formed, the founding father of Pakistan, Mr. Jinnah, he and Mr. the first Prime Minister, Mr. Liaquat Ali Khan, they introduced this first 12 point, the objectives resolution. So I think that was the first nail in the coffin of the land of the pure. And then it started. So first they introduced saying that Urdu and Urdu shall only be the language of the entire of Pakistan. Now, that is to say again, 10% of the people speaking a language which was actually from India, though, by the way, it was not anything to do with Punjab or the elite of that region of Five Rivers. And they decided that we will impose this language throughout Pakistan, where the 55% of the population in the eastern wing, they were speaking Bengali, which was, they're speaking and living the culture together for the last 5,000 years. So the Bengali culture is something that is far different and far unique compared to the religious beliefs. So even today, we've got Christian, Buddhist, Hindus, and Muslims. All the different sects in the Indian subcontinent, they can still speak Bengali, and they can have shared cultures. But there might be slight differences. But generally speaking, I think that was the notion in Bengal. So when they started this, the language movement. So I think in the world history, and I don't find another example. I might be wrong, but I haven't found it yet. Is that one sect of people have sacrificed so much for the love of their mother tongue. And that's why, on 21st February, there was a military crackdown in East Pakistan, in Dhaka University, where the students and ordinary people revolted against the West Punjabi Pakistani, the military elite, which is the deep state establishment, to say that, we reject this Urdu and we will speak our language, and we want Bengali as one of the official languages of Pakistan. And rightly so, because you see, Pakistan consisted of various fragmenting units, and like the Pashtuns in the north, and probably the Baluch in the south, and the Mahajirs, who were actually from India. They speak a different language. And then you got a lot of other different communities within the majority of Pakistan. So we got the Shias, the Ahmadis, the Ismailis, the Bohras. So Pakistan was like a collection of all different sects and different people with different cultural and ethnic identities. So I think it started with the objective resolution and the language movement, and then, as you are aware, Gura Sahib, in 1960s we had the great dictator, the so-called Field Marshal, who I don't think you can get a Field Marshal title without winning a war. However, I think for Pakistan, some different sets of standards apply, which can
No, no.
every country has.
I'm going to
So,
interrupt here, Priyajit.
yeah,
Whatever you are shedding the light on history, absolutely
yeah,
fine, absolutely correct. But the thing is, I'm more focused today on the kind of observations and the kind of the sort of implications of that horrible tragedy in our part of the world. I'll go back to Imran Chowdhury, and then again I'll take you, Priyajit ji. Imran Chowdhury Sahab, you wrote on your blog that you were 11-year-old, 10 and 11-year-old, and your brother was 17 at the time, and he joined freedom fighters. And I interrupted you about a couple minutes ago when you and your family decided to enter into India. So I like to resume little more story, as much as brief possibly you could give your observation of that time, please.
Basically, I mean, what happened on the 25th of March, at the dead of the night, in the whole of the Pakistan parliament. So we wanted a power sharing government, but they didn't want to do that. So they cracked down on the 25th of March. And guess what? In one night, they have killed 7,000 people whilst they were in sleep in Dhaka town. They raped thousands of girls and women from the various medical colleges, women's hostels, universities, and from hospitals and everywhere. So the fear of the death that I was running from Brahmanbaria to the villages, it's very confusing. This is something that I always think about it on my own. I mean, we could hear the Pakistan army shouting, Ya Hu, Allahu Akbar, Ya Ali, and all that. And we were saying, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minaz zalimin. It's a verses from the Quran, and it says that if you keep on uttering this, then God and Allah rescues you. And Musa alayhi salam was rescued from the belly of a fish when he was eaten up, and he was saved from there. So then I just wondered as a 10-year-old, why is this happening? He's also shouting the same God's name, and I'm also shouting the same God's name to rescue me, and he's shouting blessings from God to kill me. How does that work? So then we pour into India. It's Hindu India. My family was part of Calcutta before the independence of partition of India in 1947. We went back to India with a lot of trepidation, a lot of reservation, a lot of fear in us. So we poured into India, and guess what? When my Muslim Pakistanis were killing me, Muslim Bengalis, we went to Hindu Bengalis in India, in Tripura district, in Tripura province of India, and these people of Tripura embraced us with their open arm and gave us shelter, gave us food, gave us clothing, gave us utensils, even gave one of their rooms to stay. And then I realized, I think, it is not religion, it is humanity that triumphs over everything. And since then onwards, I have always been working to create an interfaith cohesion and work to have multi-faith cohesion amongst all the religions in the world, because had India not given me shelter in 1971, had India not given the Bangladeshi freedom fighters the training, the arms, the ammunition, the logistics and everything, I would have been killed like my brother perhaps. Or maybe if we stayed inside East Pakistan, they would have hunted us down, because every villages we went, every other village had been raided by Pakistan army, and just searching for people from the towns. And we were like conspicuous, we were just stuck like a sore thumb in almost all the villages, and they would have picked us up and killed us. But I still pay a lot of homage and a lot of respect to the villagers who really sheltered us, at the detriment of their own life. I'm indebted to them so much.
You said you are indebted to them so much. Here I will take Priyajit. Priyajit, what Imran Chowdhury said, that unfortunately the people who were chanting the same religious prayers were killing Bengalis who belong to the same religion. So now, Priyaji, moving forward fast. In our times, very recently, Indian government has passed CAP, Citizenship Amendment Bill. So what do you think after 1971, jumping and moving fast forward to our today's reality? What do you think? What would be the impact of India's new bill to Bengalis?
And thank you very much. I just want to point out one more thing, like from my previous session, is that when Imran was saying it's the same people killing, each other, and I think that is continuing till today as we speak. So if we take the geography of Pakistan today, I think 54 of it is Balochistan. and the Baluchis are predominantly Muslim. So, and we have the Punjabi establishment and the army actively, involved in a genocide and and a campaign of rampage throughout the region of Baluchistan. So, I think, and same goes with the Pashtuns as well, with the Pashtun Tahfuz movement as well, which is going on where they're seeking their rights. So, it is not a question of religion; it is just a question of who controls the power in Pakistan and who calls the shots and who actually own the country. So from its day it was founded, the 22 families or so which have evolved and the military elite, they have an iron grip on the entire state, and they hold the entire region hostage to their spread of hostilities to both direct conflict and indirect non-state actors. Now, coming to your question of CAB, I
Right.
would like to draw your attention that in recent years you might have heard that there was a severe crisis in Southeast Asia, which was the Rohingya crisis, which was a very active and a grave situation. And I think because Bangladesh was in the front line of this, but the other country which has stood out in this globally is India. India has given Bangladesh and to the Rohingya refugees, both in kind and in giving shelter, is unparalleled. So I don't think that anything to do with a specific religion or a specific following or a specific language has got any impact on the greater picture of Southeast Asia, because we have to remember that India is the motherland and all the other fragmenting units are connected via the umbilical cord to the the Indian subcontinent. So I think that there is obviously some amount of politics which is there throughout the global stage. But if we discount that bit, I think what they have done is I think which there are probably some deep-seated reasons behind it, and I am sure there will be ways for the entire region to work together. And saying that, what Bangladesh has achieved today, if you look at today's Bangladesh political setup and its position in the global economy, in the global different kind of indexes of of a developing nation, I think the Bangladesh government and the Bangladeshi people have done exceptionally well, and there is always a deep seated and a very well calculated campaign to destabilize that the legitimate government and the mandate of the people to invoke those 1971 those anti-secular or the anti-liberation elements to negate the gains which were and the pain which was endured by people like Imran Chowdhury and his family and the Mukti Bahini, and including the Indian Armed Forces, because they laid down their lives in a foreign country where it was, I think, one of the just war of this century. So I really think that we must stand united, and Bangladesh is a very firm ally of India and as an example to the whole world as to what a country can achieve, if they are taking the right position. So we should work together, and I'm sure, in nation state history and a long-term friendship, as one of the quotes from the Bangladesh government, they say like friendship is like a river, it will flow. So we should focus on the larger picture.
So, Imran Chaudhry Sahab,
Yes.
the thing is, as you mentioned, you and your family were greeted, welcomed by Indian villagers, and they gave you everything, they gave you hope for life. So now you are in England and you are seeing the world turning around, sort of. So, in this situation, as I asked Priyajit, what do you think that how could this misunderstanding between Bangladesh and India could be resolved in the wake of this cab bill?
No, no, no. Well, I'm not in Bangladesh at the moment.
Yeah, I understand that, but you are from
I
Bangladeshi
can,
origin.
I can assure you one thing. the neighboring countries of India and Bangladesh. By and large, we have the best relation.
So what do you expect from Pakistan now? Because Pakistan even today is reluctant to apologize.
Yeah,
Bengali.
let me come back to Pakistan. Just give me 1 second,
Sure.
if you may kindly, sir.
Sure.
What I was trying to say to you about the India-Bangladesh relation is India-Bangladesh from the prism of 1971 and the shared history, the shared culture, shared ethos and aspirations. This CAB is a temporary thing, and I'm sure India is a mature democracy. India is not going to do something which is going to upset her most reliable and trustworthy friend amongst all the other countries. Bangladesh perhaps is one of the most trustworthy friends of India, and so is India to Bangladesh. Now, about Pakistan, yes, I promote a multicultural relation, multicultural living in UK, multi-faith, multiculture, multi-race. But we live with Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, Indians, Somalians, and all the other people in UK. And I don't want to have that acrimonious feelings in me. I would rather build a bridge with Pakistan. But in order for me to build a bridge, I think the onus lies with Pakistan. We would love, or we would certainly demand an atonement, a reparation, a financial reparation, and a moral reparation, and an unconditional apology for all the rapes, all the tortures, all the killings, all the subjugation, all the deracinations, and all the inhuman, Nazi-like, taken out from the leaf of Hitler's book, tried to annihilate the Bangladeshi race, depopulate East Pakistan, and they wanted to bring their own people so that they can have a captive East Pakistan with their own kind of breeding group, own kind of people, so that no mass upsurge can take place and they can show the world that we have a two-nation theory. So basically, yes, we would like to have an atonement, we would like to have an unconditional apology, we would like a moral and fiscal reparation from Pakistan. Yes, that's the need of the hour.
So Priyajit, what do you expect from Pakistan as Bengali?
Well, I would say that as an Indian and as a resident in UK, as Mr. Chowdhury has rightly pointed out, we stay together, and my aims and my hopes for Pakistan is very high. However, I don't know that if that is enough for the other side to react. It is again, like as I said before, the global hub of all the terrorism and all the activities of spreading hate and division originates from one place. Now, if there is a policy of state sponsoring of terrorism, it becomes very hard for the neighbors of that country, to deal with the situation. And when I talk about neighbors, if you look at the neighbors, everybody is not in a very favorable relationship with the establishment. If you look at Afghanistan, if you look at Iran, even so, you can counter argue saying that the regime in India is not favorable and they have an agenda. If you say that, I would counter argue to say that what about Afghanistan and Iran? Are they also from a different maybe religion or something that is why they are having an antagonistic view of Pakistan? No, they are not. But the thing is that if you have this policy of promoting somebody else's war and running this military industrial complex based on foreign funding and just to wage a war kind of economy which survives and thrives on as its terrorism, as its exports, and I think it becomes very difficult for the neighbors to work with it, how much as we wish to work with Pakistan very
So,
friendly.
so in the end, Imran Chowdhury Sahab, I would like to know from you, after going through all hardships, after going through so much sufferings from your childhood, from your teenage, until you guys settled after the independence of Bangladesh. So today, as you are living in England, and you must be visiting Bangladesh on and off, I guess so. So where Bangladesh is today, after so many years of independence, are you and your family and your relatives are happy that your forefathers, your ancestors fought that freedom war and got an independent state? So now you think that Bangladeshis are happy after getting independence from Pakistan?
Thank you for your long question. Let me just answer you one by one. You see, every time I utter the word Bangladesh, my heart bleeds because it reminds me my brother's face. He was killed as a prisoner of war. He was tortured and he was killed. Being a Muslim, by a Muslim, was killed on the Eid day, the Eid al-Fitr. That was the day on the 21st of November in 1971. He was killed on that day. So the pain does not go. It reverberates in my mind and my eyes. I keep on flashing those. It's very hard to eradicate those memories from my mind. It's very, very hard. Yes, we have risen from the ashes. True. Bangladesh has proven in the world that it is a thriving nation. The British and the Pakistanis and Punjabis in 1857, they got together and they branded us as a non-militant race or non-martial race. We have proven to the world that Bengalis are not a non-martial race. If all you need to do is ask a Punjabi or Pakistan army how Bengalis have taught them a lesson of war in 1971. They were running like a jackal, hiding their tails up their back, and they ran and they surrendered. 93,000 of them. Can you imagine? Of course, the credit 80% goes to the Indian Army and Indian government. I'm absolutely indebted to India for their help that they have given us. But it was the Mukti Bahinis, it was the freedom fighters of Bangladesh who guided the Indian Army to come and encapsule them, engulf them, and make them and bring them down to the hilt to surrender to the Bangladeshi and the Indian combined allied forces. Now, yes, from then onwards, 1971 to 2019, 49 years is a long story. Mr. Kissinger once told us we are the bottomless basket. I hope Mr. Kissinger is listening to my words. We are not a bottomless basket. Today, Bangladesh, when the rest of the Western world are grappling with 1.2% to 1.3% growth, Bangladesh is growing year on year in excess of 7%. Yes, we are a thriving economy. We are one of the Asian tigers, and in 2030, Bangladeshi economy will be one of the most richest economy in that region. And I wouldn't be surprised that even why Pakistani people are begging to Imran Khan that Imran Sahab, 10 saal ke andar humko Bangladesh bana do. So that is probably the most sweetest revenge that anyone can have.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Imran Bhai. You summed up so well, so beautifully. And right in the end, I would like to ask Priyajit, as an author, Priyajit, how would you like to sum up our today's debate in kind of a very short and brief message?
My message is that the two nation theory, which started in 1947, in essence, in geographical terms, it was the division of Bengal and Punjab. If you take it alphabetically, these were the two provinces of the United India that were separated due to a multitude of reasons. One of them being the political party which claimed to came to be the nomination of the entire, the Muslim community of the region, which is absurd because they, very well, they lost the elections, and how could they become their sole representative? Anyway, the two nation theory sank to the bottom of Bay of Bengal on the 16th of December 1977. So it is buried there, and we need to move forward. We do not wish to become slaves and throw abuse or any kind of
Thank
heinous
you.
acts at each other. However, the terror must stop in order for friendship to flow. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, both of you, and happy Independence Bangladesh Day.
Thank you very much. We're honored and we're delighted to be talking to you. Thank you very much.
Welcome. And viewers, you are watching Candid Talk with Imran Chowdhury and Priyajit Dev Sarkar, and we were talking about that tragic day that happened on December 16, 1971 for Pakistanis' point of view, and a very happy Independence Day for my Bangladeshi brothers and sisters. And we'll be keep talking on those South Asian issues at TAC TV. Thank you for watching today's show.